笑。
Well, I've had a hell of a week. Towards the end of last week, my computer started giving me blue screens of death. And then it kept fixing itself. But over the weekend, I finally got a total hard disk crash. So I was offline for the whole weekend. I was able to log into YouTube for a few minutes to send some PMs and watch a couple of videos on another computer. But my computer was pretty much kaput over the weekend. And then I got it back Monday, working again for Monday. Only Monday. Got everything working great though, and then made a backup, which took me 2 tries, but I did make a backup. And then the hard disk crashed again. So I've spent past 2 days, 3 days now, getting it back into shape. I've actually got it where it's booting again on the crash drive. Half the stuff doesn't work though. So obviously I needed a new drive. So Best Buy had a special on terabyte drives. $176 for a terabyte drive, which is not bad. So I figured I can take one of my spare 300 gig drives and use that as a boot drive and get a terabyte drive to replace the 300 gig drive. So I run to Best Buy on Tuesday and I buy myself one of these nice terabyte drives. It's Western Digital. I'm seeing a mirror image in the LCD here. Anyway, that's what it is. It's supposed to be green. Power saver drive. Reduce power consumption by 40%. So the first thing I do is I open the thing up when I get home. I pull the shrink wrap off and open it up. And I pull out this stuff. And I read through it, and there were no surprises. A list of contents of what's in here. And everything was cool. Everything was copacetic. So I just set it all aside. So then it comes time to replace the drive. Start swapping out drives. And I pulled the thing out. First thing, I went in here and I pulled the thing out like that. This is not the drive, by the way. But I just put a drive in here for demonstration purposes and saw that even though there's supposed to be cables and screws in there, that's what it looked like. It's got this thing that will set off an alarm when you go out of the store. That was it. And then I looked at the drive, and I'm seeing it's got no label at all, no serial number. It's got no electronics visible anywhere, nothing that looks like a drive platter. I turn around to the back of it, and it's got no plugs. It's got nothing. It's a dummy drive. It was a fake. It was in a shrink wrap box. So I immediately packed it all up, schlepped myself back to Best Buy with the receipt. Expecting problems. And I go up to the guy that you deal with at first, and I told him right off the bat, listen man, I am really angry, don't make me angrier. And I explained to him step by step exactly what had happened. And of course he had to get a manager, and the manager comes over and he grabs this this hard drive, which I just handed him to him. And I said, "What the hell is that?" He said, "That's a hard drive." And I said, "Where do you plug it in?" And he's looking at it and scratching his head. So he takes the drive and he takes my receipt with him, and he disappears for like 5 minutes, and I'm just sitting there cooling my heels, and nothing's going on. And I finally asked the guy, was he supposed to take my drive and my receipt? And another 5 minutes goes by, and I complain again. So the guy says, "I'll go see what he's doing." So he comes back with the drive and the receipt, and he says, "I'm sorry, sir, this is not the drive we sold you. We can't do an exchange or give you your money back." And at that point, I started to hit the roof. And I said, "What do you expect me to do?" And he says, "Well, you'll have to deal with Western Digital." And I'm thinking, I got a drive here with no serial number. I got a receipt from Best Buy. How am I going to deal with Western Digital when I can't give them the serial number or the model number or anything? And we went through this 3 or 4 times. So then we got a bigger manager over there, and then I really started throwing a fit and using the F word. At which point I pointed out to her that all I wanted was what I paid for. That's all I was asking for, is what I paid for. I guaranteed her 100% this came in a shrink wrap box. I'm just starting to get mad again. And the point I made was that it was them that was getting ripped off by somebody at the factory, not me. So ultimately, I ended up getting the drive that works. So, as I'm making this video, I am also preparing to do a restore on my 300 gigabyte drive, which should solve all my problems once I get the newest updates, since the backup that I'll be restoring is a week old. It'll want a bunch of new updates. So there you go, adventures in shopping again. See you later.